Prudence Jenkins, Your Honor.
Clayton Berger for the people.
Judge Jenkins, I see your attorney is not present. Will you be requesting a continuance?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
You won't?
It is unorthodox, but I've decided it's best that I represent myself. These bribery charges are an attack on my integrity, my entire career. I can't leave my fate in someone else's hands. I already have the waiver filled out.
I see. Then the procedure is to go over the disadvantages verbally. Disadvantages to include, but are not limited to, the following. If I had a lawyer, that lawyer
will be able to investigate my case. 23 years on the bench and you'll have it memorized too. You'll also know when extraordinary measures are needed to defend yourself.
Then you understand.
I hereby state that I have read the waiver, I understand the waiver, and I have no questions about the waiver. I know what I'm doing.
You'll need to.
Mr. Buckingham, did you recently plead guilty to multiple charges of extortion?
Regretfully, I did.
Including an instance in which you threatened baseless lawsuits against a mother and daughter-owned wellness center unless they paid thousands of dollars.
At the time, I believed I was protecting consumers.
Did you extort the wellness center?
The law says I did.
And after you were charged, did you attempt to negotiate a reduced sentence by claiming knowledge of further crimes?
You know how a plea deal works.
And you know how to weaponize the law.
Objection. Argumentative.
Sustained.
I want you to help me understand. Isn't it true that you use gifts and a substantial donation to try to curry favor with a judge?
I did not try. I successfully...
And isn't it true that you use your position as a lawyer to threaten and intimidate?
I admit, I may have erred in the past.
And isn't it true that you pride yourself on your ability to outmaneuver people in negotiation?
I was very good at my job.
And isn't it then reasonable to conclude that you are the kind of person who would say or do anything to avoid the consequences of your criminal behavior?
Objection.
Sustained. Judge Jenkins, you will remember whose courtroom you are in and act accordingly. This is your final warning. On the count of agreeing to take a bribe in violation of PC 93, this court finds the defendant guilty as charged. The clerk shall record the verdict as rendered.
Only 2 years in, you think you know. It's only 2 years in.
Mrs. Jenkins, you will be given the opportunity to speak at sentencing.
Mrs. For years, we see people at their worst. And even as a judge, you could never do enough. You will see a chance to make a real impact, and you will do the right thing, even if it isn't legal.
Do not pretend your moral failing was some sort of grand sacrifice. The right thing is the legal thing, especially for us.
Enjoy your superiority while it lasts.
Enjoy? Do you have any idea what you have done? If a judge can be bribed, how can we ever convince someone on the margins that this building stands for them too? That they can find justice here? I once thought that you blazed a trail for me, but now you're just in my way. Sentencing will be in 2 weeks. We are done here.